The 1990s was the golden era of NBA basketball. From Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley to Dennis Rodman and Shaquille O'Neal, every one of them helped the game of basketball grow into the worldwide sensation it is today. Some have achieved much after retirement, while others have chosen a more private lifestyle. Where are these stars and what have they been up to? Well, let's find out, starting with Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins was an absolute superstar in the NBA. His thunderous dunks and unseen athletic ability earned him the nickname the Human Highlight Reel and made him one of the most popular players in the league. A 9-time All-Star, selected 9 times in the All-NBA teams. He was an NBA scoring champion. He was also a 2-time NBA Slam Dunk Contest champion. He was an absolute fan favorite, and hey, even the TV broadcasters loved him. Combining that with the 26,668 points he's scored in the NBA, averaging 24.8 points per game, is the ultimate proof of his basketball ability and the player he used to be. Wilkins pushed the game forward in terms of popularity and paved the road for future generations. He spent most of his time in the NBA playing for the Atlanta Hawks, but in the later stages of his career, he also played for the LA Clippers, the Boston Celtics, San Antonio Spurs, and the Orlando Magic. Dominique Wilkins retired in 2000 after a year playing for the Orlando Magic. Post-retirement, Dominique stayed in and around the basketball game and has put his fame and connections to good use. Since 2004, Wilkins has served as the Hawks' vice president of basketball. He works in various management functions within the franchise's basketball and business areas. The main parts of the job including advising the Hawks' senior management team and acting as a goodwill ambassador for the community. In 2010, he partnered with the fitness company 24 Hour Fitness to develop the Dominique Wilkins Basketball Academy. In his efforts to evolve, expand, and popularize the basketball game in Hawaii, the Academy provided private training camps and basketball clinics. Recently, Wilkins released the first of his private label wines under the Wilkins Reserve label. He took an interest in fine wines while playing professionally in Italy at the end of his career, and owning a private brand was one of his long-term goals. To this day, Wilkins remains the most influential athlete who has played for the Atlanta Hawks. On March 6, 2015, the Atlanta Hawks organization unveiled a Dominique Wilkins statue in front of Phillips Arena, now State Farm Arena. David Robinson. A 1995 MVP, 2-time champion, 10-time All-Star, 2 times Olympic champion, and having been selected 10 times in the All-NBA teams, the Admiral David Robinson is one of the pillars of 90s basketball. He was one of the most dominant big men in an era where big men thrived. His versatility and exceptional defense made him unique, and his ability to score the ball made him absolutely spectacular. David Robinson is one of the 4 people who have ever recorded a quadruple-double in an NBA game, something that will forever stay on in the record books. His outstanding character and moral values in his 14 years spent playing for the San Antonio Spurs became the pillars of the Spurs organization all to this day. David Robinson started preparing for his retirement early. Even though he retired from the NBA in 2003, he had already set up a few venues and businesses. In 2001, Robinson spent $9 million to fund a non-profit private school, the Carver Academy, to provide more opportunities for inner-city children. Later, the school became a public charter school and its name changed to Idea Carver, but Robinson continued to be a very active participant in the school's day-to-day activities. Since then, Robinson has become a full-fledged philanthropist, financial advisor, and venture capitalist. Post-retirement, he partnered with Daniel Bassix, formerly of Goldman Sachs, to form the Admiral Capital Group. Admiral Capital Group is a private equity firm mainly in real estate. The Admiral Capital Group today has over $1.4 billion under management. It's safe to say the Admiral is winning off the court just as well as he did on it. David Robinson is still living with his wife Valerie, and they have 3 sons, David Jr., Corey, and Justin. David Jr. attended the University of Michigan, majoring in film and video studies. After he graduated from university, he moved to Los Angeles and is currently doing corporate voiceover work, television, radio, and commercials worldwide. Corey attended Notre Dame and was a wide receiver on the football team, but after suffering multiple concussions, his career was unfortunately cut short per the doctor's orders. He's a bright young man and was actually elected student president for his senior year. Justin followed in his father's footsteps and became a basketball player. He attended Duke University on a scholarship, and after finishing his studies, he actually played basketball overseas in Montenegro, Europe. Penny Hardaway is an Olympic champion, best known for his partnership with Shaquille O'Neal in the Orlando Magic days. Penny and Shaq were the original guard-big man combo. The fans adored him, and they had some excellent success as they took a pretty average Magic team to the NBA Finals, only to unfortunately lose to the Houston Rockets. In his first 4 seasons in the league, Penny was averaging 18 points and 7 assists per game, and was one of the most dynamic guards in the league. In the NBA season 97-98, he suffered a horrific knee injury and was never the same player. However, his strong will, persistence, and basketball brain allowed him to play in the NBA for 8 more seasons. He never did regain his form and explosiveness, but his mere presence helped the Phoenix Suns, New York Knicks, and Miami Heat to become better teams. Hardaway made more than $120 million in his 16-season career. He owns a barbershop and beauty salon in downtown Memphis and a turf business based in Miami. He decided to stay in the game and nurture the future generations of superstars as a head coach for the Memphis Tigers. In his 4-year coaching career, he's produced some top talent for the NBA. The most notable name is James Wiseman, a number 2 pick in the NBA draft in the year 2020. Penny Hardaway has a son, Jaden, who plays guard at the University of Memphis, where Penny is the head coach. He also has 2 daughters born in 92 and 95 with his former girlfriend from high school, and a son who is a sophomore in high school. He is now married to Mary McDonald. They don't have their own kids, and she is pretty private in her personal life, and she prefers to stay out of the eyes of the public. The new Mrs. Hardaway has not made any public appearances, and the media has not gotten a single sight of her. Furthermore, Mary does not have any social media accounts. HAKEEM the Dream OLAJUWON is considered by many to be the best center in the history of the NBA. He was the number 1 pick of the notorious 1984 draft, including the likes of Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley. The impressive footwork and ballerina-like movement on the court made him an enigma for the opposing big men. His swiftness, agility, speed, and toughness made him the best defender in the entire league. His signature move, the Dream Shake, is now a must-have skill for every big man in the NBA. HAKEEM is a 2-time NBA champion and a 2-time Finals MVP. It would have been HAKEEM's league if it weren't for somebody named Michael Jordan. HAKEEM's resume is imposing as a 12-time All-Star and a 12-time member of the All-NBA team. 18 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, 11 blocks. After retiring from the NBA, HAKEEM is beloved by everyone in Houston and is a real icon of Houston and the NBA. OLAJUWON has had great success in the real estate market, and his estimated profits exceed $100 million. That's even more impressive if you consider that his faith doesn't allow him to pay interest, so he had to buy every building with his own money in cash. HAKEEM has never expressed an interest in coaching a team, but has stayed in the basketball game by having one-on-one sessions with several NBA players. Just to name a few, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Carmelo Anthony are just some of the many superstars who have spent their entire summers working with HAKEEM and perfecting the Dream Shake and other parts of the game in the post. OLAJUWON splits his time between Jordan, where he moved with his family to pursue Islamic studies, and his ranch near Houston. HAKEEM OLAJUWON has been married to Dalia Asafi since 1996, and they have 4 children. HAKEEM also has an older daughter, Abisola, from a previous relationship with Lita Spencer, whom he met in college. Abisola followed in her father's footsteps and actually played basketball for the WNBA. Gary Payton, also known as The Glove, is widely considered to be the best defender as a guard in the history of the NBA. His fearlessness, intensity, anticipation, and reading of the game were second to none. The full court pressing and getting in your face style struck fear in the hearts of the opposing point guards. He is the only guard in the history of the NBA who has ever won the Defensive Player of the Year award, along with 9 first-team all-defensive selections. However, he also was much more than just a defensive pest. Gary Payton is an NBA champion, 9-time NBA All-Star, and a 9-time NBA All-Team. He has scored 21,813 points in his time in the league and dished out over 8,966 assists. After retiring from the NBA in 2007, Gary Payton took a job as an NBA analyst for NBA TV. He also featured on several shows, including NBA on TNT. He didn't stay long as an analyst and pursued different interests. Since 2021, he's been a basketball coach in his hometown. He's got full authority and sees that as an opportunity to mold the future basketball players and hopefully bring some of them to the NBA. He married Monique James on July 26, 1997. Monique James was also an athlete when she was younger. She played for the school's basketball team and ran 100 meters, 200 meters, and hurdles. They lived in Oakland and Las Vegas and had 3 children, Gary II, Julian, and Raquel. all the way up to 2012 when they got divorced. This year, we got to see Gary Payton in the role of a proud father. He got the chance to witness his son, Gary Payton II, becoming an NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. Chris Mullin is a 2-time Olympic champion, 5-time NBA All-Star, and 4-time All-NBA. He's one of the best shooters of his generation, a tough, fierce competitor on defense, and a constant threat on offense. Mullin played 16 seasons in the NBA for the Golden State Warriors and the Indiana Pacers. He spent most of his time in the Warriors and is one of the stars who helped build the Golden State organization into the massive global attraction it is today. Having scored 17,911 points in the NBA, Mullin certainly left his mark on the league. Always well-mannered and soft-spoken, he was an actual role model for many. His actions and demeanor paved the way for future NBA superstars. After retiring in 2001, the Golden State Warriors hired Chris Mullin as a special assistant who dealt with day-to-day business operations. In 2004, he was named Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations for the Warriors. He had that role until 2009 when he started his broadcasting career. Mullin made his debut on Kia NBA Cool Down as an NBA analyst for ESPN. He was an analyst until 2013 when he became a special basketball advisor to the new owner of the Sacramento Kings, Vivek Ranadive. His role was to give advice on trades and improve and set up a new scouting infrastructure for the team. After 2 years in Sacramento, in 2015, Mullin became the head coach of the St. John's Red Storm men's basketball team, representing St. John's University in Queens, New York. He spent 4 years there and was the pillar of the community and helped many young kids become real men. In September 2019, after leaving St. John's University, Mullin announced his return to the Golden State Warriors as a pre-game and post-game studio analyst for the Warriors games on NBC Sports Bay Area. He also contributes to Warriors coverage on radio affiliate KNBR.